influence and understand that it's not about the appearance of a thing, but it's about authenticity. And I believe that the thing that everybody is truly longing for in their lives is authenticity. And in order to get to authenticity, you have to be willing to do that deep and critical inner work that nobody likes to talk about. You know, people look at my life today and they say, oh, you're doing all of these amazing things and you're having this awesome impact on the world. But what people don't realize is that everything that I'm doing today is because of the years of inner work that I've done behind the scenes. And what I tell people is that you see an individual on a stage, but you don't know the process and the development that it has taken for that person to get there. One thing I know for certain is that I have done my work, and my responsibility in the world is to help people do their work so that they can get to a place of wholeness, a place of freedom, a place of significance, and they can make a significant contribution to the world in their generation and in their lifetime. And so I believe that if we want to heal this emptiness in our lives, we have to begin to go beyond the surface, and we have to begin to become people of substance. We cannot allow our identity to be anchored in our possessions or materialism or our status or our pedigree or our historicity. Our identity has to be rooted in a spiritual and an eternal place. And when you root your life in an eternal place, it doesn't matter the events that unfold in your life, you will find yourself anchored and unable to be moved and unbreakable because you built your life on a firm foundation. And so I want you to build your life on the things that really matter. I want you to build your life on a foundation that will have the ability to sustain you in seasons of uncertainty and crises and difficulty. I want you to build your life so that when everything is said and done, you're still standing because you took the time to ensure that your life was built on a sound structure and a sound support system. And so you were not created to be empty. You know, I believe, and I can say this, saying this for more than a decade through this show, that where there is no vision, people perish. Where there is no prophetic utterance, the people cast off restraints and run wild. As somebody that talks and consults and advises leaders around the world, there are many social maladies that we can begin to unpackage. There are many problems in the world that we can begin to dissect and excavate. But what I tell people is that these problems, these social maladies that we see in the world today, they stem from a lack of vision. A lot of people are living hopeless lives, defeated lives, blinded to the possibilities of what their lives could truly be because they don't have a vision. I believe that the reason that so many people are prisoners to their circumstances and products of their environment is because they are living their lives controlled, inundated, and dominated by cultural conditioning and expectations because they don't have a clear vision for their lives. And so what happens is culture begins to project on us who we will be, what we can do, what we can accomplish, what we're capable of. And all of it is a lie because culture, environment, none of those things really have the ability to define or to determine what you're capable of or what is possible for your life. But because you have made that the standard for your life, that is what shapes your reality and what's possible. And so what I want you to do is I want you to live your life with a clear sense of vision. My vision is not based on CNN. It's not based on Fox News. It's not based on what I read in the Wall Street Journal. It's not even based on the conversations that I have with leaders in high places and political officials. My vision for my life is based on what I've written out for my life and what I've taken the time to have a dialogue with God about and what I know He put me on this planet to do. I always tell people, if you get God's vision for your life, you don't need a gathering squad or a consensus to tell you what you should be doing. You got to get busy doing the thing that you were created and destined to do. I think about the early days of this podcast, and you heard it on the anniversary show, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. And just like when I started in business, I didn't have a clue what I was doing, but I knew that I wanted to create this platform through this podcast to give people tools and wisdom and strategies to set them on the course to transforming their lives and to realize that they're not waiting for something to change, that they are the catalyst for change in their lives. And while it was very unorthodox and unconventional and didn't look like every other thing, I'm proud of it today. It's because I didn't know what I was doing. I took the time to build it, and 11 years later and hundreds of episodes, and I don't even know how many hours of content, I can be proud of the body of work that has been created. And so what I'm telling you is that you have to begin to live your life with a sense of vision. Why do you need to live your life with a sense of vision? Because we are in a moment of great uncertainty in the world. And as I tell my clients all the time, when there's uncertainty in the world, you have to live your life with a sense of urgency. That means that other people's emergencies are not going to distract me from my primary vision and goals. Let me say that again. The emergencies in other people's lives are not going to distract me from my primary vision and goal. And a lot of times what people call emergency is a lack of preparation. And so I am not going to abandon my purpose because you failed to prepare for a season in your life. And any season that you don't prepare for is a season that you will not prosper or make progress in. And so a lot of times we're putting out fires in everybody else's life, and we don't realize that we're neglecting our vision and we're not focusing on the things that we should be doing. And I tell people I live my life every day with a sense of urgency because we only have so much time. You have to make the time count. You have to make the moments meaningful because you only have so much time to do what you were created to do. And at the end of the day, when I take the last breath, when I make the exit out of this realm and back into eternity, the one thing that I will not have is regrets because I am realizing my potential. I'm exhausting the seed of greatness, and I'm doing what I was put here to do. And so I want you to live your life with a sense of purpose, a sense of urgency. I believe that one of the ways that you counteract emptiness is to live with urgency and intentionality. Intentionality is so powerful. I could talk about it all day, every day, because it really changed my life. There are a lot of people that say, Jamel, how have you written 10 books? How do you have a podcast still going 11 years later? How have you built a business that has been in existence over a decade and you're having the global impact that you're having around the world? How are you able to do all the things that you're doing? It's because of intentionality. It's because I live my life with very clear intentions and clear priorities, and I don't allow myself to get distracted by things that are not part of my destiny and my assignment. And so I always talk about vision because a lot of the problems in our lives, a lot of the chaos, the disorder in our lives could really be solved if we would live our lives with a sense of vision and purpose. And so I want to encourage you to get a vision. Every year, let me say this, that you live your life without a sense of vision, you are engineering. Let me say that again. Every year that you live your life without a sense of vision, you are engineering cycles of failure. I watch people every January get excited, set resolutions, fall off about 3 weeks later, get to December, feel depressed, go into the next year, set all of these resolutions, and they repeat this pattern again and again. I tell people every year is my year. I don't need a slogan, a catchphrase, or a cliche. Every year is my year because I have already created the blueprint. I have the vision, and I know exactly where I'm going, and I'm going to execute it consistently. Everything may not go according to plan perfectly, but guess what? Every year I work on that vision. I make progress. I achieve the things I want to do because I'm intentional about doing it. And so I want people to understand success doesn't just happen. You don't just wake up one morning and become successful. You don't just make affirmations or declarations and think you're going to be successful. You're successful because you are intentional about it, you prioritize for it, and you spend your energy and time engineering that reality for yourself. And so I believe that you were created for expansion.